also being live streamed with a location at 7041 Shoup Avenue, which is our North Campus. So you can view this meeting there. It is up and operating right now. We're also on the internet. So if you want to watch this at home, if there's nothing on TV, what's the website? This is, how do you find this?
It'll be on the web. It'll be on our board website. Our website will be a banner.
The homepage?
Yeah, we're still working on it.
Okay, thank you. All right. First, Mr. Hussey.
Yes, before public comment, I would like to ask the board to table school business 4, letter C, discussion vote on resolution on commitment to enroll students. Since the last board meeting, I've had some meetings where I've been in communication with LAUSD, and we have received a proposal for them. So I'd like to look into alternatives to resolve both of our concerns through that process instead of voting on a resolution at this point.
Okay, so this board will be tabling item number 4C. Okay, regarding a matter that had come before this board last week regarding the election of a member to this board. I am pushing for a reconsideration of that vote, and the reason for a reconsideration, the motion was a defective motion. It was not able to be passed if it was on the agenda. It pushed for another member to sit as a, what was he? Classified, as a classified employee, and per our bylaws, we can only have one member serve as a representative of the classified employees. So we're reconsidering that motion right now. Put it before the board. I will modify the reconsideration. First we need to vote on a reconsideration, and the reconsideration will be to table it, as we've heard that LA Unified in their chartered right will be placing another member to represent LA Unified on this board in the very near term. So before we seat somebody and have to remove them, LA Unified will be placing a member on this board. And the previous vote was, it was a defective vote to begin with. So I push this forward for reconsideration on that motion. Sorry, Daniel, do you have the motion number from last week?
From last month?
Yeah, last month, Daniel.
Yes, 5A.
5A. All right, so my motion is for the board to reconsider its vote on 5A that we took on December, was it 17th? Sorry.
December 17th.
Okay, December 17th at the prior board meeting. And for the rules of Robert's rules, we can reconsider this motion at the next available meeting. This is the next available meeting. So I push for reconsideration on that and on the terms I just stated. So, not a second on the reconsideration.
Second.
I have a second, Mr. Kofal.
Mr. Chair, I have a discussion. You're saying it's defective due to the language in the agenda that explicitly stated that it was for a classified. You're saying that it's defective for that?
Correct.
And
The
that
motion
only-
itself, the motion itself is represented as an election for a classified person.
So the discussion is for classified. We change it to a motion to vote for a.
Right, and it's, as it is a defective motion that was presented, meaning we could have, technically we could have voted yes on it, but it would have been a defective motion.
You're saying the defective motion is the result of because it wasn't agendized correctly? Daniel, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So
Not
Effectively, that'd be-
not
Yes.
necessarily agendizing correctly.
Well,
It was, the motion was defective in the part that we cannot have two classified representatives on the board.
the motion wasn't to have a classified
Yes, it
representative.
was.
No,
No.
actually,
No,
we
motion.
No, it was
we
not.
amended it
No, it was not.
to fill the position with a parent representative.
We amended it for a
No,
parent
the
representative.
initial motion was defective.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking.
Yes.
The language, the motion for a classified representative, that's the only issue that you're
Correct.
discussing.
Correct.
Not-
No, the second motion, the second issue is the fact that I've been in discussion with LA Unified, as has the executive director, and they are planning on
I
seating it.
understand that, but you're talking about, it's basically just for that classified language.
Correct. Yes.
Thank you.
So I have a second, so all in favor of reconsideration. Is this a roll call? What do you want to do, Ray?
No.
No? Okay, all,
I'm sorry, this was part of my public comment before we vote on this item, agenda item.
I know, we're pulling it off the agenda, so we may pull it off the agenda. We'll get back to public comment once we finish this item.
But it has to do with this, correct?
It is. If we're tabling it, I don't think we need to do a motion, right?
It's not tabled. This issue is not a tabling, it's a reconsideration. Reconsideration means that the vote that was taken is brought back. It's not, it was as if it was never taken. And when the reconsideration happens, that motion, I will table it. Because it's not not table it, I will remove it, because it's not a valid motion.
Okay, so I'd like to make my public comment now.
What's that?
I'd like to make my public comment now before.
As soon as we get to public comment, we gotta finish this up. Okay? So, all in favor of reconsidering the vote for item 5 of December 17th, we say aye? Aye? Sorry, I can't hear you. Go by hand vote, I can't hear.
Oh, we can do it by roll.
Roll what?
We can do it by roll.
Okay, roll call.
Beatrice Chen,
Aye.
Dan Ryber,
No,
Jeff Davis, Kenneth Lee, Scott Silverstein,
Yes.
Stephen Colfall.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay. Motion is to reconsider, a reconsideration can only be initiated by a member who voted for that item. I did vote for that item. At this point, I am recalling that item off the agenda. It's not no further on the agenda and will be brought forward in the event LA Unified doesn't perform. We'll bring it forward in another form that will meet our bylaws, and we can vote on that at that time. So, thank you. Now we're going to go to public comment.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Zhang.
I'm Letty Zane. Thank you to our board for allowing me to speak today. I had a public comment about the board position seat that is being recalled. I was wondering why the vote wasn't just reaffirmed. If you were questioning the vote, that vote's already happened, so that point is passed. And I'd like to, as a citizen, request an agenda item for a parent position to be added to an upcoming board meeting to fill the seat that is currently vacant by LAUSD with a parent representative. And my other comment was, I also, on my public comment, I asked for that I wanted to speak about about the closed session item for the public employee evaluation for our executive director. We have an ad hoc committee who has been planning that and doing that evaluation, and you'll be presenting that in closed session. And I just wanted to make a comment from a parent perspective. I think that, there's 4 items that are identified in our WASP and in our LCAP that are goals for the school-wide goals. The 4th goal on both of those documents for the WAS and the LCAP is regarding parent engagement. And I hope that that will be considered in the public and in your evaluation. That I really think that our executive director on that particular item has really hit it out of the park. We have a very engaged community in our parents. The goals are specifically increasing parental input in school decision making and increasing parental participation in programs serving targeted students and subgroups. And that has been exceeded beyond my expectations as a parent. And it really is to do with Mr. Hussey. Thank you very much for actively engaging parents, coming to our meetings, talking with us, asking for our feedback. And we don't always agree. We frequently disagree, but we always feel heard. And we really appreciate that. So thank you, and I hope that is going to be something that's taken into consideration during the evaluation. So thank you.
Mr. Atkins, Robert Atkins.
Thank you. That's
Okay. Ms. Collins. Wherever.
Alright. Good afternoon, board. My name is Hannah Collins. I'm an English teacher here. I wanted to inform you that beginning on Monday, February 3rd through Friday, February 7th, there's something called the National Week of Action. It's called Black Lives Matter Week of Action at Schools. It's a national movement created by teachers, parents, administrators, communities, and it's an annual week of action, affirmation, and solidarity for Black students in schools. I was hoping that this was coming to the board through our administration and had a resolution, and it was a timely manner, but unfortunately I don't see it on the board agenda today. El Camino, I would like to acknowledge that we have participated in systemic oppression of Black students and Black lives. We can talk about gun violence, we can talk about the dress code, but we don't talk about people, right? It is important to talk about the experiences of our Black students. We can even look at data, but I encourage you all to talk to students, teachers, and staff about their experiences on this campus. I hope that in the future the board will consider this resolution for next year because it's specifically talking about a week of action. That's the first week in February, intentionally for Black History Month. It's intended to uplift and affirm the rich history and contributions of the Black community for Black students to get a sense of pride, self-worth, and self-love. It also encourages us as a school to engage in critical reflection and courageous conversations. And so I've been in talks with administration about this resolution. I was really hoping it would be before you today. Unfortunately, it is not. But I will tell you that we do have teachers who are planning on participating. We have students who are planning on participating. On Monday, February 3rd, we have a lot of teachers who have purchased t-shirts that say Black Lives Matter to stand up and let our students know that they matter here. So I just wanted to make you aware of this resolution. I was hoping that it would be before you, but since it is not, I will email it to all of the board members, and I just wanted to make you aware of that. Thank you.
Ms. Collins, when did you submit that resolution?
Well, it was in an email dated October 31st.
And who did you send that to?
Administration. Yeah, and there has been a few conversations since. It's been a conversation since October, and there was a reminder last week as well that was sent out.
Thank you.
Mr. Russell.
Yes, sir. My comments also touch on the open board position, so it was a little redundant. Hello, my name is Richard Russell. I would like to start by thanking you for this opportunity to speak today, and thank you for serving on our board. On behalf of the classified staff, we appreciate you very much. I'm a proud conquistador, class of '87. I'm a lifelong resident, parent, and vested community member. My family, my family's family, and my neighbors all attended El Camino, along with a great number of my coworkers. I'm a special education assistant and work daily with moderate to severe students on campus. I'm also a coach and mentor. I was honored to start the lacrosse program here, and I coach JV softball. If all that was not enough, I also took another role as bargaining committee member that helped form our classified staff union, and I currently serve as acting chief shop steward. I'm here tonight on behest of the classified staff to ask that you reconsider your motion to add a parent representative, and in fact add a classified representative. One of the reasons the classified staff felt the need to organize is because we want a voice, a seat or two, at the table, if you will. We felt the need to organize because we want to feel secure and protected. We are an integral part of the day-to-day operations of this school, yet we are often overlooked, forgotten, and passed over. We believe that we not only need, but deserve a stronger presence, a stronger voice on this board. We feel having another classified representative would greatly help in furthering our cause. If we cannot stop or change course this time around, classified staff would like a voice on the next charter renewal committee to discuss the possibilities of adding another classified rep. We feel that if we have a stronger presence on the board and form a stronger alliance with teachers and admin, the result will be a more productive and harmonious working environment that will only better serve the students and the community. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
I have no more requests to speak. Does anybody else want to speak? Seeing none, let's move on. Mr. Hussey, Executive Director, update.
So first of all, I made a rushed announcement today over the PA, but I want to make sure I say it at the board meeting and then tomorrow morning for the whole staff. So today there was a fire on Burbank. Our Officer Miranda, Mr. Dillon, Mr. Lerma, and our safety officers acted quickly, went over to see what was happening. I think they saved some lives over there. They got there before the fire department and definitely saved one man's life and maybe another person's life in doing community work for the community. So I want to recognize them at the board, and I will recognize them tomorrow during the PA announcement to the whole school. I just want to put that on public record. And I want to thank them for their dedication to the school and to the community.
This is a house fire?
Yes.
Yeah.
Next, our WASP mid-cycle review will be here on Sunday, February 23rd. We're looking at a 2 p.m. welcome, so I invite all board members to come to that welcome. They will be here for a 2-day visit, the 24th and 25th, and then they'll have usually on the 25th they'll give us a synopsis of what they've seen in our report. ECR cleanup day is Saturday, February 15th, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Again, Mr. Lerma is spearheading this event. I want to show my appreciation for him and all the work he's put into it. He's invited clubs, sports teams, students, and parents to this day, to this cleanup day. Next, we had our lottery today. We had approximately 800 applicants, and we still had people walking in today signing up to be on the wait list. We drew 400 ninth graders and approximately 200 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. Combined, yeah. And so we have a wait list of 200 now on a wait list, plus the growing wait list that we have as people walk in. Over the course of the fall semester, Mr. Alba and some counselors visited 5 different schools. We promoted it on our social media, and of course, Friends of ECR is always right behind promoting it as well. Next, another thing with L Unified, they looked at our special ed advertising on our website, and they're going to use it as a template for other schools to follow. So I just want to recognize the tech department and special ed department for being a website that that the COP is now going to use as a template to show other schools what they're looking for. Also, I've been in communication with LAUSD, and CSD is working on providing us a name soon. So I would say within the next, no, I'm not going to put a time, but they said they're going to provide a name soon for the board position. Last thing, facilities. We still do not have heat, but they did cut up the street, and they said by Monday they will have a temporary heating system functioning, and it's a year to year and a half project to do what they're going to have to do with the whole school. And LAUSD, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but LAUSD is going to fit the bill for all of that. Last thing is the alt ed room. We're still waiting back from LAUSD to give us the clearance to go into those rooms, yes or no.
When do you think they'll let you know?
Mr. Bennett and Dupree are constantly in contact with them. That's a good question.
Okay,
That's it.
thank you.
2 follow-up questions to that, if I could. Number 1, the CCTV.
And
What's going on with that?
I'm still waiting for a quote from the district to tell me how much it's going to cost for them to do what they need to do.
Okay. And then you had mentioned, because of the alt ed, the fire and everything, rent reimbursement. Have we looked into that now?
Yeah, for the alt ed,
Yeah.
we haven't gotten it still yet, but they're aware of it.
No, as far as rent reimbursement, since we can't use it.
No, we haven't paid since we haven't used it. We haven't been invoiced or paid since it's been condemned, and they are aware of that. And I've had that discussion with them before, and I think Mr. Hussey's spoken to them.
So that's good to know, that even though we can't use it, we haven't been invoiced and we haven't been paid. I want to make sure we're not getting any invoices.
Right. And in the middle of that, the conversation has already been had. It's condemned. Don't expect rental. Let's have an invoice in a proper.
Okay.
Should be in the lease under partial condemnation.
Yeah.
I have emails stating that we're not going to.
I just want to make sure they don't come 2 years later, like we had this debacle now with
Right.
the 1.2 million.
There's been discussions. I'd be surprised, but never know. We'll keep it posted.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that it?
That wasn't my update. The other question.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
a question. Yeah, that was.
So you'd have to ask Mr. Hart.
All right, Chief Business Officer.
A few items now. The North Campus property tax exemption, which we've spoken about in the past, that will be filed by February 15th by hand. You take it down there. We already have a file open from last year, so that'll be done. We generally pay about $46,500 property tax for that, so that'll be a nice exemption. We're eligible now that it's been in use. I'm going to attempt to get for last year as well. We'll see. I'll let you know. But certainly for this, it's not on our fiscal year; it's on calendar year. So, this year we're fine. I'll do what I can for last year. On that. Next board meeting. Well, actually, prior to that, I'm going to send out the board investment policy statement. For our investments, the lifetime benefits trust. I hope to have that. I've been working with the actuary on that on some things. I expect that draft middle of the first week of February, but I'll get to the board members as soon as I do, just so you can have time to review, and we'll get on the agenda to at least discuss, hopefully vote at next board meeting. As well as the it's really post-employment trust, benefits trust. The a funding scenario, just to show you where we are by next board meeting. How much we've contributed, how much we'll, if we stay at the current rates, what that'll look like, how many years will be 100 or slightly over 100% funding. So I'll give that to you. I'll have a summary report. We'll go through it. We'll talk about it. That I'll get out to you when I have it, but certainly by next board meeting. Just to give you the balances on, since we're talking about those trust accounts. The financials for this board meeting go through December 31st. The post-employment benefits trust as of December 31st was $13,032,402. As of yesterday, it was $14,061,974.
We have that other the CD account. Actually, as of 2 days ago, I know it's December, 7,382,077. That's the one we do not put anything in. The total there is 21,444,052.
The 7 million, we don't put anything in.
No, the trust, the first one, the one with
Right.
currently 1406, that's the one for the lifetime
Lifetime
benefit.
benefit.
That's right. That's the one we're regularly.
Putting the 220 in.
That's right.
And the 7 million, we don't put anything into that.
We don't actively do it, no. We manage it, we watch it. It's a very, very conservative CD,
Okay.
mostly, yeah. That's what I have for detail.
Thank you. And committee updates. Start with Ms. Chen.
No tech meeting, but I plan on scheduling one for quickly in the next couple of weeks.
I just want to ask you, I saw in the American Express bill, 15 people, 20 people went to Boston?
I saw that too, but I don't know if that has anything to do with the tech.
I think that's the real.
No, I mean the travel committee.
Oh,
I'm on the phone.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
That's
sorry.
separate.
All right. I thought she was on. All right, so that's tech. And Mr. Ryberg, travel.
Yeah, we voted and approved 3 separate travel requests. One of the baseball coaches to the ABCA convention. The second one was the robotics club to Massachusetts. That's probably the one you saw. And then the choir trip to Carnegie Hall, performing at Carnegie Hall. And all 3 of those were approved. So that third one was kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Carnegie Hall, that's
Really cool.
pretty cool.
Robotics thing.
Yeah, yeah. So all 3 were approved.
Okay, safety committee.
No meeting.
Okay. What's up? Okay. Any other updates on committees? Anything you saw? Finance committee did not meet because 2 of the members were out and we did not have a quorum, so we will be meeting next month. I think that's all committees, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we go to the items for consent. Approval of minutes of December 17th regular board meeting. As part of the package, any comments?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I have a motion to approve the minutes of December 17th, 2019. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. All in favor of accepting the minutes for December 17th, 2019 as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? All right, motion carries unanimously. Next up is the financial. Mr. Finance just walked in. Mr. Darby.
First look at the, we'll vote on the check registers, right? So
Yes.
I haven't received any, I have a couple questions, but unless there are any others.
Is that the check register? Okay, any questions about the check register for December? No, not December.
Yes, December.
This December check register.
It is December check register. Any questions regarding the December check register that have not been answered prior to this meeting? Seeing none, Mr. Chang, is this a,
So that's the motion.
no, I know, but is it a roll call vote?
No.
No? Okay. All right, do I have a motion to accept the check register as presented?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion from Ms. Chen. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Mr. Ryberg. All in favor of accepting the check register from December 2019, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you. Now we go to item 3 on the agenda, which is financial item A. Mr. Darby.
No, A is the check registers.
B.
So we're on B, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry, you're right. Item 3B, financial update.
Just to go over it a little bit, I think, it's always a good time to see what was budgeted versus what we spent so far. So, also on there is what's now forecasted, and I'll discuss that a bit too. So, the forecast on that is basically what's been, based on actuals, where we're at. It's a good measure against the budget. Forecasts certainly change, the budget won't, once it's approved. An example on the forecast where we changed, and I bring this up because I had a few questions throughout the last couple of weeks. If I mentioned previous board meetings, how revenue, when the board approved the budget, that was before the governor's state budget was approved. So for example, some funding changed, right? So there's a good example. Expenses on a forecast, we could budget for, I don't know, staff, but the forecast may be lower or maybe higher. That just tells the story to ask questions. I just want to go over that. So with that, at this point in the year, we're about half, right? Revenue is received about 50% of what we budgeted. It's 49.5 versus on the forecast is 48.9. Expenses through December 31st was what was budgeted 50.2%. Very nice halfway through the year. And then on the forecast is 50%. So that's those are good numbers. There operating income is a little bit higher than what we budgeted. The forecast now is $452,519. We had budgeted for the board approved budgeted $187,477. The difference is $265,042. And that's really, I think these are nice and clean. There are no major concerns at this point, at least on spending or anything. So that's always nice to hear. And then anyone have any questions on this?
Do you have any questions on these two items? I have one question. On the salaries and benefits, there's a $700,000 delta. I know it's only halfway through the year, but is that a number that's going to be absorbed going forward? Or why do we have that? That's a big variance. I'm just curious.
It could have been recategorized. But we'll pull that up and we'll get that answer for you.
Okay. And that's it for now, Mr. Rivera.
Right. Okay, we'll give you detail on that.
And again, according to this one page, the net income is 192,000 down. Loss.
And December 31st. That's just through December 30th.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's always.
And that's mid-year, and that's pending all the stuff that we're catching up.
Yeah, that's always the funky numbers.
Right.
Yeah, but that's why we do like to show the forecast out, just to say for the rest of the year we're healthy. Yeah. Any questions on the statements? We'll just a couple more things. I always want to offer more if I can. I've offered the board. If the board wants to know how to do an answer now, I could always provide the GL every month if need be. It's extensive, but if you want. Also the accounts payable aging report. If the board wants to see it, think about it. Let me know. I'm happy to provide those. That's all.
If I could, on the accounts payable, what are you saying you're going to provide?
So every month, we have one, as a couple, as a yesterday, and it shows buckets here at 30 days, 31, 60, right? And it'll show where we are with our payments. That's what it would show.
And it'll show everyone we contract with, every bill.
I mean, it doesn't show. It'll show as far as what we have to pay. Yes, I mean, everyone we contract with would be a vendor. I can certainly provide that too, but it just shows what's active that we're processing. Right?
And if those are 90 days out, is there a late fee? And where would we show late fees on that?
That would be on invoices or on bills.
But it wouldn't actually show here.
Not on that. The report shows where you are as far as those buckets. Right, it's kind of an overview.
And then by looking at that, you'd ask the question. That's, this opens up the dialogue.
Okay. Thank you.
How do you, is there a written protocol when an invoice or bill comes in?
We have a process that I can send you.
What's that?
Yeah, the protocol is a process.
Okay, and you mentioned that you have accounts payable out to 90 days.
Those are standard buckets used.
I'm sorry, I have really bad hearing right now.
Those are standard buckets that are used.
Not 30, 60, 90 days.
Yeah, it's usually 0 to 30. You have current 0 to 30.
Right.
That's why.
Why would an invoice go out 90 days?
Don't know. I mean, it could be. It shouldn't. Sometimes there are reasons. Maybe you have an invoice that's booked, services haven't been provided. Right. So you didn't pay. That's for.
Okay, but a service that hasn't been provided, that hasn't been paid for.
Right. But you may list that, or maybe there was an issue. Maybe that right. This again, when you look at it, on mine I have we put the comment section. That's when you start asking those questions individually. Why is it not here? Why is this short? That's what there are probably a lot of scenarios why something could go past 30, 60 or something.
Okay. All right.
That's all I got. No finish.
I thought we were going to
I just,
What?
I was just gonna say, I mean, I think transparency is the most important thing.
Yeah.
As you were saying, like whatever you want to provide. I think as transparent as we can be is how we need to be. That's just my personal opinion. I think that's really important, especially with everything else Camino's been through for the last handful of years. I think whatever you can, just personally, whatever you can do to make it transparent, or actually more transparent than it is already, that would be great. I mean, I think it for the community, think it for everybody.
I don't mind reading numbers.
Yeah, I never mind information. So
Yeah, exactly.
The jail is expensive, but again, I can send it on a monthly basis. I usually like to know the, year to date updated, but I guess I can discuss it with Mr. Silverstein just on what exactly this will look like, but certainly that's why I'm offering.
And I know what aging chart looks like. It's more the reasons behind the aging chart.
That's why, so that's what the chart will help answer questions or keep that dialogue going. That's why I'm offering.
Yeah, and that's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Right now you're up to adopt the budget.
No, I just wanted to give the high overview. If John wants to add and do that.
The only thing I want to add is that when we're looking at the year-to-date comparison, which was page 2 of the PDF, and it shows a really large variance between the LCFF entitlement of what we have at $15.9 million as of December 31st, compared to the report the same period last year of $12.3 million. It's because one of the things that we're proactively doing within the financial system is that we're on an accrual basis now. So before you had been on a cash basis, meaning that all LCFF revenue or any revenue that comes from CDE always comes usually on the last week of the school month. So we know that revenue is coming. We know exactly from the state what it's going to be, and we know when it's hitting the county treasury or LUSC. So we take that and we actually record in your books as a receivable. So if you look at the balance sheets, you'll see a large receivable, like $3.7 million. It's because in December you had LCFF entitlement 8011 of $3 million or $2 million some dollars, and you also have EPA money, which is like another $1.7 million. So those combined make a really large receivable. So it's not like you have a lot of money, just every month you guys have really large receivables. So that way we can accurately reflect going forward apples to apples. Like right now it's sort of apples to oranges in the sense that you see like a huge large negative as December 31st, 2018 of $3.6 million. It's really not like that. I mean, if they just hadn't recorded the December revenue in the books. So once that gets up there, you would see like less of a variance there. And going forward, next year, next fiscal year, when we start doing July to July and August to August, you'll start seeing the numbers start to flow more smoothly, and that everything will start to like look really familiar, especially when we're looking at financials. 50% spent at the December 31st, and another 50% spent on expenses. And it shows you guys are really consistent with what you guys are budgeting and what the expenses and revenue are every month. So that's all I wanted to note on that book. So it looks like it might be skewed, but it's really not. It's just the way that their financials were presented last year.
Just as a matter of information, how do you find out how much money you're going to be getting?
The state will tell you.
They send you a letter and said
No,
this
they
is
have
how
a
much?
they have a huge schedule for all the school
Yeah.
districts and all the charter schools in California, and they submit that on their webpage, and then we go on there and we pull down each CR and we see what it is, and it says this is exactly what you receive every month up through January, and then once P1 is submitted, which just got submitted, they're gonna read through the numbers, and then they're gonna tell you this is what you're gonna receive from February through May, and then once P2 is received, then they're gonna say this is what you get in June and July.
And then I'll catch you up in July.
And same with EPA, almost all the revenues like that, quarterly with the lottery money, so.
And yeah, they'll catch us up in July, and that money will get booked for this current year. Right.
So once they come up with a number, is it in stone or is it a number that's modified or?
That's in stone.
Yeah,
That's
when they're at that point.
Okay.
That's why they only present up to a certain period, so they can then modify the next group.
When LCFF came in X amount of years ago with Governor Brown, this is the base grant, right, you're talking about, and it's per grade level spans. And so high schools, any high school 9 through 12, there's more dollars per ADA for high school students than it would be for middle school, K3, 4, 5, K3, there's a whole tier thing. So that's
And
how it
the
works.
actual form is
Yeah,
Huge.
the formula's crazy. But that's the layman's term, the base grant, sure. Can I just say something else to that? Because we're talking about P1 and P2. That's why you can't always go by enrollment, you have to go by attendance. And I think that's something that, you know, looking at incentives and any way to improve attendance. And I'm just, like, Mr. Hussey, could you tell us, I mean, I know the bus passes are helping, things like that. What are some other things that the school's doing attendance-wise? To, you know, to
Right,
encourage
I mean, I wouldn't say we have done anything special to look at that right now.
Okay.
I think we started with the free and reduced kids because we saw a need there, and then we'll look to develop other programs.
It's just really, really important, the seats and the chairs.
Right.
I do have one question.
Yes.
But I'm sorry, I need to clarify that with a previous, the percentage of the attendance rate.
Yep.
I'm trying to find it from last year.
The 95 versus 93.
Yeah, I believe we were up to 95, 96 a year ago. Why are we going down to 93%?
Our historical, it is closer to 93 change rather than 95, 96. Well, we took a conservative, maybe it's 94, 95, but we took a conservative on it.
I think 94.7.
Yeah, 94%.
Yeah.
So we took more of the conservative because then you have the percentage is not right.
So we're dropping it,
Well,
which causes a decrease
That's right.
in monies. And that's the conservative view.
And we're doing well with that. I'd love to, I'd love to be accurate, so I'll let you prove me wrong on that, but we also have been trending down.
Okay.
So if we're 94 and change, 93, with actually showing up and all that, we have been trending down. We want to take it and operate based on that.
Okay, thank you.
So I have,
Okay. I have, any other questions? I have a question regarding an item that's on the revenue, and it's fundraising. You have a budget forecast of 900,000. Is that something we could go from 47,000 halfway through the year to 900,000 by the end of the year? page,
We'll look into what's deeper into that.
that's a significant difference.
Yeah, the original budget, nothing, now we're 300,000 halfway. So,
You have to look at the YTD column. So year to date, we're about 300,000, 900,000. And so that 900,000 also consists a lot of the ASB revenue coming in. So it's possible that the spring activities will cause a lot more revenue to come in.
Well, that's what I was wondering,
That's right.
if this is
That's
something
why,
that's
yeah.
just it's weighted in the spring.
I believe so. Usually most activities for a school will happen towards the second semester of the school.
Whereas many expenses are in the beginning, a lot of revenues for the end.
Yeah. Okay. All right, any other questions? No? Okay, let's move on. The financial register, check register,
We did check those.
and financial update. Are you,
I'll do it again.
Wonderful.
what's that?
For the student council.
Right, okay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, now item 4A, the Student Accountability Report Card, the SARC. Mr. Hussey.
So I answered some questions that people sent to me. The school accountability report card just gives the data that we receive or have, and we put it in charts. It's what the state requires of us. I know there were some questions about, and I think with the school accountability report card, it's always either a year or 2 years behind. So it's always hard to talk about what happened 2 years ago when we're moving forward. There was a new section about professional development that just came up this year, and they asked for this year's numbers when the report's a year or two behind, so it's kind of confusing, and I got a couple questions on that. But all the data is there, and it's there. I think we can look at it. There's some places obviously that we need to improve, but as far as stability, the school is stable where it's at right now, but obviously we want to improve in some areas.
Yeah. David, you did answer, I sent you quite a few questions, you and Lisa. I appreciate your answers. Is this school accountability report card, is a form we fill out every year?
Correct.
So we can't add categories because it's a state form. My one question that you answered was the teachers with full credentials. We went from 152 to 138. Was that the reclassification? Why the drop in 14 teachers with full credentials?
I would have to.
Yeah, I think that was one of the only questions that I didn't get answered. And
Did you ask me that question?
yeah, I have the student enrollment, and you answered the enrollment.
I must have missed the
And
that one.
I just was curious why the drop in the credentials. And, and just the unfortunate thing was the graduation and the dropout rate. So.
Just to that, that could be, there's a teacher shortage in California, and sometimes it's really, really hard nowadays to find teachers in very specific subject areas. And so sometimes we have to hire teachers on intern credentials, on TIPSLs and STIPs and PIPs and all these different, credentials that we have that wouldn't be considered a full credential. And I don't know the answer. I'm just throwing it out there as that might be a possibility as to why it dropped.
And that's, now that you brought that up, that's the full correlation of it. If we need to hire more, that we're hiring subs with those credentials, we're paying more for the substitutes. That was just a question.
That number, looking at it now, it doesn't look correct to me, because I know we've hired or replaced teachers for the most part, so it should be similar. I would say it should be similar to the other. So
I thought it was 140. That was one of the questions I had. And if that's true, can we modify that before we send it to them? Is this something that we have to,
Fernando, can we modify
is this something we have to send in now, or, I'm just curious, because
we can
That's a-
modify that number?
that's
Let's
just,
modify it to correct.
well, that's what I'm saying. If it is 148, or if there was an error, I'd like to, make sure that that's correct.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll give you an answer tomorrow. We'll have this
Thank you.
resolved tomorrow. Yeah.
See, vacant teacher positions, I thought I knew myself of two. That at least in special ed, and aren't we also missing a, American Sign Language?
No, because we had to close the class, so we hired a Spanish teacher.
I see.
So it was a replacement. So are there any
That
other?
was it. Thank you for answering the question.
I had a question. Taking into account the fact that we haven't had heat in here for a long time, and something Mr. Ryber and I spoke about. You have a report card on the facility itself.
Again, I think I answered Mr. Robert. So we're looking at, so again, the report's looking back 2 years ago or a year ago, so I don't like the way the report's written because we're always we're telling a story that's already passed.
I read about that.
Yeah, here's, I can share it now and open. Why are some of the categories rated good when we have had the destruction of the old building, flooding, and fire? I realize it's 2018-19 SART, we should credential. And your comment was, unfortunately, it doesn't make sense to you, but it's a 2-year back. So we can't argue that point. So those categories next year will be changed, a couple of them.
But no, that's not my point. My point is that are we in a position to look at the infrastructure of this school with the existing staff that you have that's rating? How does whoever your facilities people are they qualified to say that our electric is good, or is it just the fact that the lights go on? I'm just trying to figure that out.
The district comes out and does does inspections, so it's based on those inspections and what our people see on a daily basis.
So some LAUSD standards, which I guess.
Which are fair, good,
Yes.
excellent. LAUSD.
Okay, so we're not really doing a survey. For instance, somebody's not looking at the air conditioning plant and giving us a useful life on the air conditioning plant, or
We have HVAC that comes out and we'll look at that. The district sends out people to survey the equipment. They do that on a yearly basis.
Do they?
Yeah. And we pay for that.
We pay for that.
Yeah.
We have their people come out, and we pay for their people to come
Yeah,
out.
because
They have their people come out and we pay for them.
Right.
it's their brand.
Okay.
Anything you know about landlord tenant?
And again, I would echo your sentiments, Scott, that this report is dated, it says January 2018, and I just don't understand why we're now in January of 2020 and looking at this. I just don't understand it.
That's what we're giving.
But that's the state, and that's all the rest of it.
This is not LUSD, this is the state.
Yeah.
So the heating was working in January 2018.
Yes, it was.
Correct, correct.
Yes.
So that's how we do
So
it.
next time we do it, it's
And the
not-
plumbing was pretty good in 2018.
Correct.
All right, thank you. So I'll, based on Mr. Hussey's answers to my questions and everything got addressed, I'll make a motion to approve the school accountability report card as presented,
Actually,
with the clarification of
The
the credentialed teachers.
Right.
That one question still hasn't.
okay, before that motion is moved, I have one additional question.
Sure.
Has this building been surveyed by a CASPA expert, a handicap ADA qualified expert?
I'm going to, I don't know for sure, but I'm going to say yes in the sense that when they did the path of travel from the front to the stadium, that they did all of that stuff. I'll follow up with Mr. Bennett, but
And if something is rated as not in compliance,
then we fix it.
that's on us?
Most likely. It depends. Depending on what it is,
So even if the condition existed prior to us moving in here, it falls on us?
not necessarily, then I would talk to the district, but most of the bigger projects, so like the path of travel, when they completed that, the district did that. So I think it depends on the issue.
Okay.
Since if it's a material change to the building or the structure, you have to go through district either way.
There's a difference in a material change and a ton of minor changes.
But I think, if I recall, when we had tech issues, making a hole in the wall is technically a change to the building. That's the problem.
And that's the problem with
With
this.
Such a
Yeah.
permanent fixture.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna get stuck in the weeds on this. All right, so
Motion so moved.
I have a motion to approve the SARC student school accountability report card. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Mr. Kofal. Is this a roll call vote?
No, because there's no board member who is appearing telephonically. We don't have to do anything by roll call.
Okay. All right, so all in favor of accepting the SARC report as written, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much for that report.
So next we have the revised 2019-2020 student handbook dress code section. The reason why we need to make this change, Senate Bill 187 requires schools to develop a comprehensive safety school plan. One of the requirements of the plan is to include school-wide dress codes prohibiting gang-related apparel pursuant to Education Code 35-183, if such a dress code exists. The language prohibiting gang-related apparel was on our previous dress code, but was inadvertently omitted. So in the most recent version, so we want to just correct that.
Okay, anybody have any questions?
So we didn't have any issues here. This was a Senate bill change.
No, the Senate bill didn't change. It's just we had inadvertently omitted that language that we had before. So I wanted to present it in an open forum so everybody. I didn't want to just change it back.
And we haven't had any issues.
No.
Any further questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
I do have one more question. Will this also be sent out to all the parents immediately based on the change? Because if you don't, how can they be held liable if they've signed the parent handbook in the beginning and it's now changed?
Yeah, we can send out.
We can send out a
Just a notice. You know, you don't need to send the whole thing.
No, we'll send out a email.
Notice?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Sorry, Scott.
All right,
ensure that everybody gets that and understands that? I mean,
Right, is it,
I-
the
I'm just saying.
language is.
I mean, now, the beauty of the lottery process and the electronic enrollment process is we have captured every parent's email who enrolled here. Whether they change that email or look at that email, we have everybody's email.
But I think his question is it sent also in Spanish
Yeah.
and English?
I think in everybody.
Including all of our different students and parents that maybe speak a language other than English.
We have the handbook translated into Spanish,
Okay.
so the Spanish language version will also be
Perfect.
updated. And we'll notify, and we will send links to both versions.
Thank you.
That was my concern, and it's also, for the school, because you have these things that will happen to the student if they don't dress appropriately, right? So it actually protects administration too, because that way, if we know we've communicated to people in their home language, people can't say, I didn't know that. Well, you know, it just kind of, it works both ways. I'm concerned that the parents understand it too. And so I'm just making sure that, or asking, is there a way in, you know, the various meetings we have, the big meetings we have at the start of the year, end of the year, welcome to ECR stuff, that is really explained, because that's important. I just feel that's really important. Parents have full understanding of what this is.
Of this particular.
Yeah, and I'm more not really concerned with what they can't wear. I'm more concerned with what happens to them if they're not wearing it.
Okay.
You know, the phone calls you'll get.
I mean, again, and it's, if there's a violation,
Yeah.
it's always a conversation first. It's not you're kicked out of the
No, I
school.
know.
It's always a conversation and an educational opportunity to inform.
I'm thinking more the.
We'll do that in new parent orientation for sure.
That's awesome. I was more concerned with the, you know, how can you give me my kid this shirt to wear and this kind of thing. I just think it's really important that parents know the whole thing.
Okay.
That's all.
Communication.
Yeah.
Okay? All right,
I'll make a motion to approve the dress code section changes that have been proposed.
I have a motion to approve the changes to the student-teacher handbook regarding the dress code.
Parent.
What?
Parent.
Student, parent,
Parent, student.
parent, to the student, teacher handbook.
No teacher.
No teacher handbook, it's just parent student handbook. I have a motion, do I have a second? I have a second from Mr. Kofal. All in favor of the modification to the handbook, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. And item 5 been withdrawn after reconsideration. Item 7. Now going into closed session. I'm sorry, 6. Yes. Thank you very much. Recess for a few minutes until our council gets here and reconvene.
I didn't see that.
As a school.
Can I still sing with you?